morning. My name is Kelly Johnson. I'm a claims examiner with Department of Labor. I'm trying to reach Mr. Adam Knudsen.
Yes, this is him.
Good morning. I have your attorneys on the line. One moment while I join you into the conference. We're doing an informal conference for you today.
Great. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right. So I think I've got three of you. I've got Ms. Barnes, Mrs. Campbell, and Mr. Knudsen.
Yep.
I'm here. Fantastic. And Mr. Knudsen, forgive me, I also have with me my colleague Lisa Moten, who's sitting in. She's a senior claims examiner here in the office as well. My last phone call is going to be to employer carrier counsel Mick Thomas. So bear with me while I do that, okay, guys?
Great.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we're here to do an informal conference for Mr. Adam Knudsen on his claim with Department of Labor or DBA claim. And Ms. Campbell and Ms. Barnes, since you requested the informal conference, I'm going to go ahead and have you kick us off with your positions whenever you're ready.
Okay. I'm going to give a little bit of background information. Mr. Knudsen worked as a firefighter from December of 2011 through February 22nd of 2014 for the employer in Iraq. During his employment, he experienced many life-threatening events, including, but not limited to, rocket attacks causing death and severe injury to co-workers and civilians. He continuously felt that his life was threatened throughout his employment. There were many times when claimant could not sleep at all due to the fear of these frequent attacks. However, he was still obligated to complete his job duties during the workday despite his severe sleep deprivation. Further, claimant was forced to watch execution videos to identify whether it was one of their employees being executed or not. One can only imagine the traumatizing effects that would have. On February 23rd, 2014, claimant was performing his daily work duties when he stepped off of a platform and injured his right ankle. He was immediately sent home to the U.S. due to the injury, where he has undergone extensive medical treatment, including numerous surgeries. In 2017, the claimant underwent several psychiatric evaluations in conjunction with his ankle injury. He was evaluated on September 17, 2017, October 19, 2017, and November 8, 2017. It was during those psych evaluations that he was diagnosed with PTSD, major depressive disorder, and insomnia due to his experience as a combat firefighter overseas. His psychiatric condition was aggravated by his extremely severe ankle injury. We believe the medical records provided support a prima facie evidence of a work-related psychiatric injury. We're seeking a recommendation that the psychiatric condition is compensable, Section 7 medical for the psych injury, and that once claimant is determined to be at MMI for his ankle injury, that TTDs continue with the psych condition. We're also seeking attorney's fees. Thank you.
Question before we get started. Do you have those full psych evaluations for 917, 919, and 98? I did get the compilation that you sent. Thank you for sending those. If they are available in their entirety, I do need those to make my recommendations.
I will look. We have thousands of pages of documents, so I'll look to see if we have each of those individual reports.
That would be great.
So I will
no question Mr. Knudsen has a serious injury to his ankle. There have been a lot of problems with that, and he's received disability up until now. One of the biggest problems we have is that we haven't had a treatment report in a long time. Mr. Knudsen has had, some difficulties with treating physician. I don't know, all the details of that or who's at fault or if anybody's at fault, but he's not getting treatment, and he's not getting treatment for psych. I'm not aware of any diagnosis of PTSD. I am aware of at least one doctor or IME saying, well, maybe if there's these other overlying problems, mostly dealing with, drug and alcohol issues that need to be resolved before that can even be addressed.
That either be from Mr. Hunter, Dr. Hunter?
Yeah, yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Okay, thank you for clarifying. Go ahead.
No problem. So that's the only thing that I know. Listen, we don't really. It's not a stretch to say there's a psychiatric component to this case. It's had a very long and difficult, time with his ankle. He very may well have PTSD, but the problem has always been getting records, getting treatment records, and getting doctors to tell us what's going on with the case. And there is not, to my knowledge, any treatment going back over a year, I think. Now, my client has been paying this because we know, what a difficult time he's had with his ankle. About a month and a half ago, we sent a letter saying, hey, listen, you need to get a treating physician, or we're going to cut off your benefits because this just can't keep going on without treatment. I think that's what spurred this particular request for informal, because Clayman is still getting CTD, but my client just doesn't have any records supporting it anymore. So that's kind of where we are, and I'd like to focus on getting treating physician or getting some kind of care in this case so that we can get Mr. Knudsen right, and so that we can move the litigation part on forward to a place where we can resolve it by stipulations, by AIG, by trial, by whatever. But, that's been the biggest problem, is just the records. So, I'd like to see if there's a diagnosis of PTSD, then we can deal with that, but there's still no treatment. And in order to get CTD, you got to have a doctor saying you're TTD, and that doesn't exist right now, to my knowledge.
Has there been any exchange or sharing of, and this is for claimant counsel for Ms. Barnes and Ms. Campbell, have you shared any of, I know that you have an abundance of them, but have you shared any of the psych evals that you have to support that, to help employer carrier at all? Have you had an opportunity to do that, to exchange the information of what you have?
Okay, sorry. Attached to our request for informal conference was the psych evaluation that you had referenced earlier.
So it's not the actual psych evals themselves. There wasn't any letterhead or anything like that, so I was kind of confused, and it said draft on it, so I wasn't sure what all that was happening there.
Okay. But on that, it does include the diagnosis of his psychological issue.
And I have that
first page of that. On the very first page.
But I don't know whether that's from the 17th, the 19th, the 8th. I don't know. And I know it's from Dr. Hill, but I don't know where Dr. Hill's from. I just was looking for the record itself for me to be able to use it as evidence.
Okay.
Fully.
Okay. And then, it was, Mr. Thomas, are you finished?
Yes.
Okay. So I want to address one thing that you said, and you were saying that the carrier had threatened to
I'm, I would like the full reports, but still, these psych, these are back in 2017. I mean, there's been, when's the last time he saw, it just says psychological evaluation, and I got the facts. So I guess I got the same thing that, that the other CP got. So, this doctor, is there current treatment, with the doctor that wrote these reports?
Mr. Knudsen, when was the last time you saw a psychiatrist?
Well, I've been seeing one as well for my parenting case, and then one as well just for kind of weekly. I haven't gone in the last 3 weeks just due to some financial reasons, but I plan on still going back to that current psychiatrist.
And I missed it. Who's your current therapist that you're seeing, even though you haven't seen him in 3 weeks? Who are you seeing currently?
There's a Julie Parker at Northwest Psychological Care, and then I did a evaluation with, I believe his last name was Brown, for a parenting evaluation to get more time with my toddler son.
Okay, we will try to get all of those records and get them over to you.
And then the IME from...
Can I get a release for those records, and then I will get them?
Sure.
So,
May-
Give me over a release and I'll give it over to you.
If- If I may I be able to address some things that are being discussed?
I think it would be better not to at this point.
Okay, I would just like to say I am not getting treatment for the ankle due to Julie Parker, the claim manager who requested a psych evaluation, who put all treatment on pause for well over a year, and then in return wrote me an email saying that in review there was never completion of a physician of choice form. That they've been trying to make me go, like I wasn't able to choose out my physician. I know there's a lot of details and stuff complicated with that, but I'm very eager to get surgery and just move forward from all this.
do you have a physician in mind that you wanted to get that is local to you?
He's not local because he specializes in ankle surgery, in orthopedics. I kind of with my previous surgeries at Harborview and everything, it became. I guess I should ask my lawyers first before I go into details about stuff, but I've basically been to the top physicians now in Washington State, and I would love to have another expert just get a second opinion. I mean, they're recommending growing my bones together in my ankle or cutting my leg off, and I'd like to have an expert weigh in on that.
Kelly, if I could address that.
Please.
So this has been the issue that's been on for a long time. One, so the psychiatric IME, Dr. Dye, that was actually done for this very reason, to find out if psychologically surgery was a good idea. His answer was no. I don't know any psychologist or psychiatrist that says that Mr. Knudsen should have surgery. Second, July, and I can send you this if you want, on July 23rd, my client, the Justice Suzanne Banda, sent Mr. Knudsen a letter explaining, hey, listen, you need to get a treatment. You need to get one locally. You need to choose somebody. To my knowledge, there's never been a response to that. It's very detailed, laying out the requirements of the act, and giving him, information of, who to speak to and so forth. And it just never happened. So there's just no.
That's not true.
In this case, and I understand that Mr. Knudsen has had a long history of this, but the treatment in this case isn't here. he needs to get a treating physician.
Doctor.
Just saying, hey, I want to go to New York to see some doctor that no other doctors ever said he should go see.
So I'm going to jump in really quick because I have a question, and then I'm just going to gently hang in there, Mr. Knudsen, and just I would defer to your attorney to just kind of hold off. I know this is really hard to listen to passively, but I encourage you to hang in there and with the advice of the attorney. But I'm going to jump in. We've mentioned a couple of times an IME for the psych. Is this the Dr. Hunter psych? Is this the Dr. Hunter IME that you're referencing, sir?
Yes.
Okay, and do you have access to that IME as well so that I can get that on file as part of, to review?
I'll tell you, and I apologize. I was a little confused about about this because when I won't go into it, but I should have gotten to some of this stuff beforehand. What I'd like to do is maybe in the next 10 days or so, I'll send you that IME. I'll send you this letter I just referenced. Anything else? We've had some trouble getting some records. There was we subpoenaed something and there was a motion to quash. We've had some trouble. I'm just going to consider that water under the bridge at this point. And so, but I'll give you whatever we have. But so yes, I'll send you the IME and I'll send you this letter, July 23rd, 2018, and sent.
So I'll make that part easy for you. I have the July 23rd, so that'll save you. But in terms of my timeline, I'm going to ask in the next 5 days for that IME from Dr. Hunter so that I can get recommendations out to you most expediently. Also, just to keep this really kind of neat and tidy so that I can make recommendations about the Section 20 presumption, the Section 7, the compensability in the event things resolve or the ankle claim stops paying for whatever reason to move on to TTD for the psych. So what I'm going to ask is those psych records that are referenced in September, October, and November from Dr. Hill, the IME from Dr. Hunter, I think those are going to be the best pieces of information for me to make adequate recommendations. And if I can have those in the next 5 business days so that I can get recommendations out to you, if for no other reason that the holidays are coming and people are scattering to the winds, just so that you guys have some forward momentum and know where to go. And then if for any reason there's a treating physician that comes down the pike, I will let claimant counsel contact me and keep me updated with what's going on in terms of the ankle portion of the claim. But just to keep it neat and tidy, I'm going to just say at this point in time, I think we've got a good game plan getting me those records so that I can make recommendations on the Section 7 and the Section 20. And then people can kind of have a place to move forward from there once I have that information. Does that sound like a plan to everybody?
We can do that. I just don't have anything that supports ongoing TTD, and that's been my client's problem. Is listen, we've always stayed this case, and I know there've been issues, but I think we still need to have doctors that are giving us opinions so that we can administer the claim, and that really has been my client's biggest problem, at least over the last year.
Do we have, or can anybody chime in for me what the last date of treatment or last treatment report available for the ankle claim was?
Oh, God.
Yes.
I know that may not be a
Not off the top of my head, no.
fair enough.
It's 2016.
2016, is that Mr. Knudsen?
No, I didn't say that, but it does sound, I believe, it was the end of 2016 with the doctor recommending the subtalar fusion or the amputation. And I was the whole time yes, I do have a copy of that, and the insurer does as well.
Okay, and Mr. Knudsen, you haven't seen anybody for your ankle since 2016 at all?
No, because Miss Banda
For like a
restricted it.
or anything?
They had the doctor write a request for psychological evaluation before any surgery has taken place, and I've been held under that until recently, with Mr. Thomas describing the letter received from Miss Banda. that was then saying that in review there was never a physician of choice claim form, that all this has been withheld because of that recommendation.
Well, the recommendation not to for treatment surgery. Treatment has not been withheld. Okay.
I'm sorry, sir. No,
been withheld because it's not. I mean, it's just not indicated.
Okay, I'll provide the information that says otherwise, sir.
Doctor said the only thing that
Before we start to de-escalate a little bit, just because I understand that we're going in a direction I think we don't want to go just yet.
Absolutely.
Because I want to stay focused on just trying to determine whether or not this is compensable, the prima facie case burden has been met, and whether it's treatable. I understand what employer carrier is asking for the TTD in future, but for continued care. But I'm going to let counsel for defense and counsel for claimant continue to talk about that and come up with a game plan. Because for today, I'm just going to focus on the psych.
Great. Could I address something with the psych as well? From the beginning.
What you said.
Well, it's nothing. It's all information that you all have.
I'm sorry, your voice is sounding a lot alike.
Oh, I.
Okay, so let the claims examiner get the records, and then she will make her recommendation.
Well,
Yeah, I think that's the best game plan. And then if anything changes with the ankle, you guys know how to contact me, and we'll take it from there.
with the history of the psych evaluations, including starting at Harborview and at the end of 2014, when I first got stateside, I've requested help for psych. Excuse me. They have always denied and arranged every evaluation. Everything has always been arranged by AIG, in my opinion, written in their favor. I mean, 1,700 of the recruits to the project I was supporting was executed by ISIS. Both my chiefs are dead. So's the crew chief. So's a fellow firefighter who committed suicide. Well, I mean, the fact.
We don't need to get into all of that right now, okay?
No, the fact that they can continue to just deny it and then saying I'm like enjoying this process or delaying, like it's getting a little absurd.
To be clear, I think we're trying to figure out at this point what I'm trying to do, Mr. Knudsen, is determine if a claim for the second claim is compensable and if the burden is met. So no one is trying to say and editorialize or your perspective at this point. I think we're just trying to determine if the secondary claim is compensable and if you've met the burden. And we're just going to review the information available. All I'm saying is if anything changes with the ankle, if you do end up finding a treating physician, or if counsel for defense and claimant counsel can come up with a game plan for furthering treatment or continue to come up with a plan for treatment or to get what they're needing, great, contact me. But I think I have everything I need, provided you guys get that to me in the next 5 days for the recommendations that are requested.
Great, thank you.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to thank everybody for their time and their patience and bearing with me today. And I look forward to hearing from you with your documents in the next 5 days.
And just to be clear, this is Mr. Williams, from us, you just need the
IMB from Hunter.
Okay.
Please, because I have the letter from July 23rd. Thank you.
Okay, and we had an orthopedic IME done too. Do you have that as well, Dr. Dozier, I think? Or?
Please send that. No. Go ahead. What's the date on that?
June 15, 2016.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and send that too, please.
Okay.
Excellent. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks very much for your time.
Thank you for your time.